Okay, the next film I'm reviewing is from director Steven Soderbergh, who most of you will most likely know from the Oceans trilogy and perhaps his brilliant 2000 film, Traffic. And most recently, he brought us an ambitious effort in a 4 hour plus biopic of Che Guevara. And speaking of ambitious, Soderbergh has got to be one of the most ambitious directors of our time. He always goes for the perfect film. Sometimes he's succeeded, sometimes he doesn't, but he's always trying. And it really comes off that way in his films because whether I recommend his movie or not, I'm never bored or unfocused or feel restless watching any of his films. He's great at making things interesting, and that is no different here. He brings us something else that stands out here despite its reasons for a non-nationwide release, and that's called The Girlfriend Experience. Now this film stars Sasha Grey, who actually is an adult film star. And I gotta say, she's not Meryl Streep, but she is good here. And this is her first real motion picture film, and you know what? I actually hope it's not her last. I'd like to see if she can do something more. She plays Chelsea, who's an escort who isn't actually necessarily paid for sex, but for some of her regular clients, she plays a girlfriend, hence the title. Which actually sounds strange, but in an even stranger way, this film actually makes sense out of. I really can't explain it, but for the record, by the way, for all my friends listening, I'll never get that desperate. Anyway, moving on. This is about Chelsea and the different men in her life, her clients, I guess you could say, who she actually talks to more than anything. Now, the way that society and media and entertainment have depicted her relationships is that the woman is the talker and the guy is the one who listens. And you know what? Hey, that's pretty much more or less what I've seen in real life 99 times out of 100. However, the guys that Chelsea deals with are ones that are hiding the sort of personality trait that most of the girls that they are dating or married to or whatever have, and that's doing all the talking. And most of these guys are merely using Chelsea as a puzzle piece for something they think is missing in their lives, and that is why this movie is just really interesting. These men seem to feel the need to be interesting in someone's life, and when they pay Chelsea, apparently they are. The way these relationships build and build and build are very intriguing, and it actually takes place during the backdrop. The backdrop for this film is the 2008 presidential campaign, even though it's still recent, but it brings a very subtle overtone to the film that actually was surprisingly well and really tied in a way I wouldn't even begin to fathom to this story, and I was actually shocked of how it was handled with such ease. Now, I don't think there's anything overly shining about this film in terms of realm of being great, other than the only thing it really did was really just keep my interest in the fact that it was a different kind of story. But if you guys are looking for a softcore X-rated film here, you're not going to find it. So this is actually a different kind of work still, however, and the dialogue is refreshing and well written. Like pretty much most of Soderbergh's work, this film kept my attention, and I walked away having enjoyed my experience. Watching The Girlfriend Experience isn't quite as brilliant as Traffic, or as fun as the Ocean films, or even as poignant as Che, but it has a zest and to it, or has a zest to it that is just very memorable. So I'm giving The Girlfriend Experience 3.5 stars out of 5.